Hey guys, welcome to Picksburgh. Today we have some special guests with us. I want to welcome my co-host, as always, Michael over at Huddle Card Collection. You guys aren't following Michael, make sure you go subscribe to his channel. We will be live over there next week with a very, very exciting guest. So I'll let Michael give that announcement. If you'd like to, man, floor is yours, brother.
Hey, thanks for the invite. Glad to go ahead and be here. Looking forward to this, to learn get the ropes of the process of an LCS, everything. Looking forward to that. Yeah, but next week, folks, on my channel, we're gonna have Lootbox TV. Come on, those guys, they do a really good job. They're a fun guy. They do a lot of higher end ripping. They do the one card for whatever $1,000, or a box for $800 that has 6 cards in it. So it's going to be fun to see that side of the business, because obviously, Anthony, you and I, we're more on the
we're in the dollar box.
We're on the other side of that scale.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hopefully one day be able to get to that scale. But looking forward to talking to these 2 young men and having a great time tonight, as always.
Absolutely. Without further ado, I want to introduce our guests. We have Tyler Huth and Garrett Huth, owners and founders of G&T Sports Card Plus, local card shop in Pennsylvania, and then also new upstart grading company, GTG Grading. So, gentlemen, thank you very much for being here. Honor and privilege to be able to pick your brains, and I love the black and yellow that is behind you.
Thank you. We appreciate you guys having us on. We're big Pittsburgh fans all around. We like it all. We love the Steelers, the Penguins, Pirates. I got to say, we are Pitt fans. We're big Pitt fans in this household.
Awesome. Men after my own heart. Yeah, so I had the honor and privilege of meeting you guys. Actually met Garrett first at the last Pittsburgh card show. We had Mark Hipsley on here to promote it before they ran, but Garrett, man, little hustler, went around, was cutting deals with everybody at the show. Man, I would say, like, me and you personally probably did like 2 or 3 deals at least during the show. What got you into cards originally, Garrett?
So my dad told me he was a collector as a kid, and then towards the middle of 2019, he bought me my first blaster, and then that's what really started me.
Nice. So what got you into collecting, Tyler? I know you were kind of influential in getting Garrett into the hobby. What got you into it?
So I've been a collector on and off my whole life. The first present that I got from my parents was the year I was born. My dad bought me the team set of 1988 Score baseball and thought that was going to pay for college. And even though there's no value to that set other than sentimental value to me, I still have that set, and I'll always keep that one. Unfortunately, my dad passed away when I was 8 years old, so that's something that I always kept with me. And I've always had a strong interest in sports. I've followed the Penguins, the Pirates, the Steelers my whole life, and collecting cards, and it just, I don't know, it was a great connect for me to the sports world, and it just having a set so simple as that one just kind of got me into, I dabbled throughout my childhood and buying different packs, and anybody that loves to rip packs knows that feeling, regardless of what you pull. If you love to rip packs, in my teenage years and into my early adulthood, I took a long break from it because that's when I was going through the process of getting married, buying our house, and had to focus funds towards that. And it's even taking a long break like that, coming back years later, all it took was ripping one pack of baseball cards, and I was hooked again. And I haven't looked back since then. We kind of ripped for a few years and got to the point where I was looking for a way to make, a few bucks off of it, just for the purpose of keeping the hobby alive for myself and now the two of us. And we started selling on eBay, and it's kind of got us to where we're at now.
I still remember back was.
What was it?
2020 almost. 2019.
Oh.
Nice. Yeah, Donruss is classic. You can't go wrong with rated rookies. What's up, Orlando? Good to see you, brother. Appreciate you being here tonight.
Hey, Orlando.
Yes, that's got to bring back a lot of memories for you, Michael. Being that your channel was pretty much started as a father and son, just ripping packs together.
Yeah.
It's good to see that what your father started in you when you were young, Tyler, you've continued in Garrett. And, just to see his passion for the hobby, just at these local card shows and stuff like that was really cool. It's almost like you hear in the church world, childlike faith. It's like through the eyes of a child, like at a card show, like that's how the hobby should be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's the future of the hobby. And
you've seen so much like negativity in the hobby, whether it's like scams or XYZ, to like just see somebody like truly just get down and enjoy the hobby for what it is really refreshing.
Oh yeah. That's one of the things I enjoy the most about, this business adventure. It's not my first business, but it's my favorite. The fact that, my whole family loves to rip packs of cards. My daughters love it. My wife, she's an on and off collector herself. And the fact that I get to share this adventure directly with Garrett, but, also pieces of it with the rest of the family. I can honestly say we opened our store in September, and, as far as we are now, I don't feel like I've worked a day yet. And
awesome.
to me, there's nothing better. There's no better feeling than to actually enjoy going into work every single day and not wanting to leave.
Yeah, absolutely. Garrett, what was it like for you when Dad said, "Hey, we're going to open up a local card shop"?
Since we've started collecting, I've always wanted to start opening a card shop. And whenever he first told me that we got like part of the building to like start, I was really happy.
I bet that's a really big step too, especially to be as young as you are, to be kind of getting the experience of what it's like to start a business from scratch and to run a business. And one thing that I saw on social media just the other day is you now have your own case at the shop of everything in there is your own cards that you've kind of used your own money and kind of hustled and grinded for, which is super cool, man. What can you tell us about those cards in that case?
So my best card is probably a Trayvon Walker Hall of Heroes rookie.
Nice.
And then it's mostly just like stuff like that. Like I had a Derek Jeter PSA. I had like a Tatis. It was like a picture with a coin in it. And then it was just stuff like that.
Nice. Really, really cool.
So who do you go ahead and collect? Because obviously you're not putting the cards you collect in there. So who are you collecting?
Right now, mostly like Mahomes and Pickett.
Nice. Those are good guys to collect.
Very nice.
I think that goes for both of us.
Yeah, those are some good guys to go after. I mean, Kenny, obviously, for the Pittsburgh connection, and Pickett, you can't go wrong. Or, I mean, Mahomes, you can't go wrong as far as quarterbacks. He's probably the best that there is right now.
Oh, yeah, he's a safe investment.
Some Pickens too.
But being a Pitt fan, I tell all my customers I'm a biased Pitt fan, so I'm never going to say anything bad about Pickett. So most of my customers that come in know that. So if they come in and see a new Pickett, they know some of them aren't even for sale because I'm not quite ready to part with them.
Speaking of new Pickets, I was going to wait to pull up your website, but there's a really nice Kenny Pickett RPA just staring me in the face right now.
I hate to break it to you, but we actually just traded that one.
Oh, bummer.
But we did pick up a TJ Watt 1-of-1. It was a 1-of-1
Oh.
patch auto.
That's awesome. That's
Tell them
really
what
awesome.
tell them what Mahomes was called.
You are right. We had a 1-of-1 Mahomes pulled in shop today.
That is
Wow.
awesome.
Yeah, it was by a
Out of
kid.
what?
It was 2021 contenders draft picks, and it was by a kid today. It was towards the end of the day, and
Isn't he like 10?
Yeah, he's around your age.
Yeah, like
It's
10,
it's
11.
one of our regular customers, and it made his day. You could see him. He opened the pack and
bet.
started screaming and ran over to his dad to show him. And
Not only
that's
do you
one
hit
of the
a
best
1-of-1,
feelings
but
to see that.
Mahomes is literally the best guy you could probably hit a 1-of-1 about. Like,
Oh, yeah.
maybe Tom Brady would be another good one to hit, but like
Oh,
other
yeah.
than that, like those are the guys in 2021. I would guess maybe like T-Law would be a nice one to get.
Yeah.
So on your website here, is there anything you'd like to like highlight for people that might want to come, like say buy wax from you, or maybe singles, or maybe just get more information about the actual local card shop?
So when you go into the homepage,
Yeah.
if you scroll down towards the bottom, right there, we always try to update that section. And
section right here?
Yeah, so we usually have a game night, a trade night. We try to do as many events in the store to try to keep that community feel of a fun and safe environment to come in and enjoy the hobby. And it's fun for all ages. So we try to do as much of that as possible. And I always want to highlight that on the home page of our website so that people can see that as one of the first things, because to me, that's the important part. I want people to see that and come out and enjoy these events. As much as I want people to look at the product on the website, this is one thing that I really want people to see, and that's why it's big. It's on the homepage, and then so this is definitely a section that I like to push. And then towards the bottom, it's more of just a convenience thing. We do have a live feed of our updated posts from Facebook that is automatically updated right to the footer page of our website. So it's, like I said, it's more of a convenience thing, but it is, if somebody stumbles onto our website before our Facebook page, they can see some of our more recent posts. And then we honestly, we tried to simplify the website, have the hours, the contact information, the address, everything like that right there on the homepage, so that it's right there and easy to see. Those are usually the first questions we get: is hours, address, phone number.
we also have like magic days, gaming days.
Yeah, the gaming is something that really has grown in interest in the shop.
It's basically game night.
Yeah, we do it every Saturday is game day.
That's awesome.
Cool.
That's what this graphic is here.
Mostly Magic. And
we do have eight 6-foot tables with chairs, and it's free for people to come in. They can come in and play. We get a lot of people that play Magic the Gathering. We get some people that play Pokemon. We have a new interest in like Warhammer and D&D, and we actually have a playing area for those games that's set up, and it's all free of charge. We looking to expand into more of that stuff and offer, just like I said, a place where people can come and utilize the space, the tables. We even have board games in hand that people are welcome to come and use. There's no rental fee. There's no there's nothing attached to it. You're welcome to come in any day of the week, grab a game, and sit down and play. So that's another point that we like to push there as well.
Cool looking shop just from the picture, man. I mean, it's set up really nice. I mean, the displays that get you and everything, that's a sharp looking place.
Thank you.
Good luck.
It's definitely a work in progress. We like to keep things, changing and adding and readjusting as we go. It is a very unique building. It's an older building. It's over 100 years old. It's actually it used to be a grocery store when I was a kid. And I used to hang out there. So wow. It was kind of unique for me because, I had family that worked there. So as a kid, I hung out there, and I had a unique opportunity to open my own store inside of there. So that for me, that was, it was a no brainer. Yeah. I get to, my shop is a block from where I grew up. So it's something I always wanted to do. As much as I always wanted to open a card shop, to get to do it in the town that I grew up in and the places I used to hang out in, for me, I really can't put words to it.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's really cool. And one thing that I thought was kind of unique too is you have like a huge setup there where you also have like arcade type machines, and then you have like a giant TV in there as well. So I just thought that was like really unique, because I haven't seen very many shops that have that like TV where you can go in there and like say there's a game on, you could like have the game on, and as people are sitting there playing the game or doing whatever at trade night, it's like boom, NBA playoffs right there. Or being able to like actually have all the kids come and play on like the arcade style machines like for game night is super cool too. Like that's just something that you don't see very often in a local card shop.
Oh yeah, that was definitely something that we wanted to, like I said, growing up in the town of Freeport, I kind of had an idea of the types of, it's a small community of 850 people. So I kind of had a certain idea of how I wanted to pull people in and invite them to come to our store and enjoy it. And I had a prior experience in vending. And so I kind of took, my experience with that and some machines that I had sitting in the garage and figured, they're going to be served better in our store as opposed to sitting in a garage waiting to go into a location somewhere else. And that really just kind of spiraled into the idea of, we have gaming going on. We have people coming in and out of the store. We got game nights, trade nights. Why not have a small arcade area where people, if you got a split family where you got, multiple siblings, half like sports cards and the other half don't want to be there, it's an area where they can go maybe spend 10 or 15 minutes, play some games, and their brother or sister could look at sports cards, and they can both find some sort of interest to keep them occupied for that time that they're there. It's definitely an area we want to continue to expand. We actually just kind of revamped it a little bit, and we got some ticket redemption machines now. So of course, because of that, we have a showcase with redemption prizes in it. So that was something we actually just finalized today. So we're working hard to get that in place for trade night this week.
That's really cool.
For two more things.
Yeah, and as far as the TV, we do. He has to have it hooked up for Madden. That's his thing. He's always got his Madden going, whether it's a Saturday that we're there or if it's during a game night or game day.
That's awesome.
And you'd be able to have some Madden tournaments.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we still have the original Nintendo 64, so we do like to occasionally bring that down and play some 1998 NBA Jam or something like that, or some Ken Griffey Jr. home run.
On rookie mode in Madden, I'm pretty sure I won a game like 132 to 7 or something.
Nice. Speaking of the trade night you guys are having this Friday, I will be there in attendance. Just a little quick promo for you guys. We're going to do a live stream. They're doing a break down there at 7 p.m. I'm going to try to go live sometime after their break, and I'm going to be doing a special break there where all of my channel members are going to be getting free spots. I'm also going to be giving away a spot to somebody who's in attendance live at the shop that night. So if you're in the Pittsburgh area or can come out to Freeport and you want to come to trade night, I'm going to be giving away a free spot in this basketball break to somebody at the shop. I'm also going to be giving away a free spot to somebody tonight during the show. So by the end of the show, I will give away a free spot to this break as well. So make sure you guys, if you're able to, come on out to trade night. If you can't make it in person, if you're not in Pennsylvania, join us online. We'll be broadcasting live from the shop as well.
Exciting.
We have a question. From Eric.
Let me pull that up here. Eric says, hello, I'm getting back into card collecting hobby after nearly 45 years. I'm interested in knowing thoughts on buying Ellie De La Cruz Bowman cards. Is he a prospect worth investing? I know I'm not a huge baseball person, Eric, but I know Michael is. And luckily we have a card shop owner on the line that could probably give us some info there. But I know Marty's done really well selling Ellie De La Cruz on eBay currently because Marty's really hot and heavy and ripping Bowman currently, and he's selling a lot of Bowman on eBay. And Ellie's one of those guys he's been listing a lot of currently. But I'm going to go ahead and punt that one to you guys who might know a little bit more about the baseball market.
We have a few.
Hold on. I feel like it's a good investment at the time because his prices really are still on the lower end, and now would be a good opportunity to invest. And I do think it is a good investment. I've been kind of torn myself because I actually pulled a few of his numbered cards out of Bowman, and I didn't want to sell them, but I had somebody came into the shop today and really wanted them, so it was part of the trade that we had talked about before. But I do think it is a good investment currently.
Nice. Yeah, I agree. And Eric, I mean so you're 45 years in. You're kind of sort of like me. I'm actually around the same thing. I started collecting in 1976. What I would tell you is that when it comes to these guys and you're buying Bowman, the first Bowman is really what a lot of people want. They don't mind the second year or third year Bowman because if a guy stays in the minors, they'll give more of them out. But first year Bowman Chrome will be better than the paper, but definitely the inserts and the numbered ones, what are you going to want to look at? Like if you get a Ellie De La Cruz, Mojo, first Bowman Mojo at a good price. And I think like Tyler said, a lot of those, they're still on the lower end. But if this kid is what people say he is, it's definitely a good investment. Now, the weird thing about Bowman though is it's kind of that in the industry, it's tough from the collector and the investor person, so it's different aspects, right? Collector doesn't really care. First Bowman, they look at that as the first card. The investors, they like that right now, the numbered cards or the Mojos, because it's the only thing you can get from him. Where you'll see a little bit of a dip is when he makes the big leagues and his rookie cards come out. And when you have that little RC badge, that all of a sudden gives that card a bump and could have some of the Bowmans, go down a little bit.
You are right about that. And there are some times where, if a player really does come on and have a good career, sometimes you'll see, after the rookie cards have come out, people will go back and look for those first Bowmans to look and, to get into it then. And it seems like that's when those first Bowmans kind of spike back up, to at least meet those rookie cards, if not in some cases exceed them. So it is, in this industry, it's full of ups and downs. And, so it is hard to kind of project, because as you said, there's a lot of guys that don't quite make it or don't quite hit that potential. And, that's where investing in the Bowman cards, it can be good and it can be good. It could be bad. But I do think he is one that would be a good investment currently with what the market is.
Yeah. So you got a 3 of 5 PSA 10. So it would be interesting what the pop report is on that. The other 4 may not even be pulled yet. They could still be sitting in boxes someplace. You could have a pop 1 on your hands. That changes the game completely.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing about Bowman, I will say, is this, and the way I look at it, and it's my own personal opinion.
He says it's a pop 1. Nice.
Oh yeah, it's a pop 1. So I mean, again, collecting wise, different than investment wise. I like Bowman, but personally for me, I like Bowman more from an investment standpoint because there's speculation these guys are going to be so good that the truth of the matter is, like, if you get a Jackson Holiday card and you get one of those big numbers, I mean, think about it. Jackson Holiday, right? a guy, I think his name is Magic Mike on Whatnot, pulled the one of one, super fractor, whatever the heck it's called. There was a bounty on it for hundreds of thousands of dollars. The truth of the matter is this: that card should not be worth that amount of money because the kid just came out of high school. So the thing is to me, Bowman, for me, unless it's a PC player, is more of a get it. And if you can make yourself some money or trade into a better card, go ahead and do it because you just don't know with with these players, because you don't know. They're hot today. That guy goes and he, Ellie De La Cruz, or one of these hot prospects, breaks a leg and something happens next, 2 years away. He's away from the game. He gets forgotten. So, that's why I look at Bowman, in my opinion.
Yeah, that is the tough part, especially if you're dealing with mainly prospects and rookies. A lot of these guys may not pan out. If you think even back to like the 2019 NBA draft class, where everybody's like, this is a surefire class, like everybody's going to be stud after stud after stud. It's like, if you look at their card prices now, like granted that like went through COVID, but like taking the COVID out of the equation, like, like there's still like many of those guys that are now looking like busts. But a follow-up question here, as far as paper better than foil and is foil better than chrome? So paper is basically like the base like card stock. Foil would be like, so yours I'm guessing is like a paper card, but the foil would be like the parallel, the red foil would be like the parallel on that. Now chrome is also considered base, but then you have like your refractors, X-fractors, superfractors, like all the different parallels that come with chrome as well. So I would definitely say foil is definitely better than paper. It can also be better than chrome if it's a base card, but if it's like a parallel, like a refractor or something like that, then I would say chrome parallel would be better than the foil.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Any of you guys have anything you want to expound on with that?
No, I think you're right. I think Diamond Princess put it in there. She's right. Foil is better than paper, and chrome is better than than foil. So that is definitely the way to go. But again, you're talking about a 3 out of 5, pop one. I mean that's sitting pretty. Again, depending on what you are, if you're an investor or you're a collector. If you're an investor, you got to watch that. Again, you got to watch how he's doing and so on and so forth. That's the one thing with these kids. Once they turn pro, and not once they turn pro, but once they get into the big leagues, those cards start to have less value.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it's going to drop off, and let's say it's a $5,000 card today. It's not all of a sudden going to be a $500 card when the guy gets a regular one, but it might go down to $3,500. But
yeah,
still, if you get it at the right price, very nice return on investment.
Absolutely. Jason makes a good point too here. He says he doesn't touch paper too often because of reselling or grading it is not really worth it. In most cases, he's right. In some cases, like if you have like say the top rookie in like a paper parallel, you might make a couple bucks here and there. But yeah, I mean, nowadays, I remember back in the pandemic, like you could send like every base or paper rookie you had out, and by the time you get back, like sell it for like 10x what it was worth when it was raw. But yeah, nowadays it's gotten much harder. Now, have you noticed, like as a shop owner, do you have any issues moving like base parallels or just like, say for example, LaMelo Ball Chronicles XYZ that there's like a million of? Like, do you have issues moving that, or is that stuff like
no? There's sorry to cut you off there.
No,
there's certain days that's primarily what sells. You get certain people to come in. You get your really diehard collectors that they're looking for only high end stuff. But there's a lot of times that those the Chronicle rookie cards. It's a great opportunity for somebody younger or somebody that doesn't want to spend a lot of money to get a LaMelo Ball rookie card and spend $4 or $5 on it. So there are certain days that we have no problem selling that stuff. It really just depends on the day. But it kind of it cycles, through everything. There's certain days it's all wax.
Yeah, I can totally understand. Hey, Eric, thank you very much for your service, brother. Always like to salute our servicemen and women when they pop in the chat. Here's one last question. With Bowman First Edition not coming back next year, would that impact the value in the future? What do you guys think?
I don't know if we know yet. I think it's because when you think about some of the other brands that Fanatic says they're not bringing back, not 100% sure. I don't know. I mean, I think as much as we could say it couldn't. You just don't know because is it done or is it just taking a break?
Yeah, that I totally agree with that because it's just there's so many unknowns about that. If it took a break and came back, a few years later, I don't think you'd really see much change in it. But it's hard to tell at this point.
What would you say your biggest goals and aspirations right now are for the shop and the business as a whole?
Our biggest goal is to bring back, in our area there are other shops, but there's nothing directly in our area. And my goal is to really just be a place where people can enjoy the hobby. The one thing I tell everybody, and this is probably something that most business owners wouldn't want to admit, but I don't want the environment where people feel like to come into my store that they have to spend money. I'm just as happy if somebody coming in for an hour to reminisce about sports or just enjoy sorting through cards or just talking about sports or the hobby and not have to feel pressured into, thinking they have to buy something to be there. Our goal is to just have a laid back experience where you can just enjoy what you want to do. And, kind of bring back the memories I have of going to, my LCS when I was a kid. And, I loved every minute of that. That was the first Pokemon boom. But that's kind of our goal for it, is just a laid back experience where people can enjoy the hobby.
You said, you're creating a destination place for people to go to and everything. And because you got to realize, when you think about it, other than going to shows, a lot of times this is kind of lonely because you're sitting at home sorting cards, going through stuff, looking up comps, doing all this other kind of stuff. So if you're in the area, and you're like, hey, well, I know Tyler has his shop open. He has tables set up. I can go hang out over there, and maybe I'll bring my 2-row and and do some stuff and stuff like that, and just again, not have to be alone and make more of a sense of a community.
Yeah, absolutely. That's our goal. And we get a lot of people that come in that just they meet other people that are there collecting, and it sets up friendships that way. Some of the people that come into my store that are regulars in my store, I never knew prior to the COVID boom. We met through going to Walmart and waiting in line to get in to hopefully get a blaster box of cards.
Yeah.
And I've developed many good friendships just through that. So we'd love to have people come down and make new friendships at our shop and just share the hobby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the atmosphere down there is very welcoming, like you said. So like you're doing a great job of creating the atmosphere that you're trying to set.
Thank you.
Yeah. So the other unique thing I saw about your business was that you guys are also either starting or have already started a grading company out of the local card shop. What made you guys want to do that?
I always just loved the idea of it. And the idea to actually pursue it came during COVID. When I sent one card to PSA and waited 2 years for it to come back, it kind of pushed me to say that, there's gotta be other, opportunities to kind of grab some of that pieces of that market and, kind of hone in on some of the things that I, felt displeased on with, other companies that I had, graded through prior. And, our goal with it is to have a low cost option and, offer the best quality we can. And just to give people another, option to grade their cards with.
Mm-hmm. Now, from what I saw when I was in shop, you guys are currently offering, like, if it's a graded card, you're offering $10 service. And if it's just to slab the card, it's $5. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. Our graded cards do come with subgrades on the back.
Okay.
And we do not charge extra for that. That's included in the $10 fee. The cards that are just slabbed, that actually was an idea that had, I know other companies do it, but that was something that was a major request from a lot of our customers that were coming in. And most of them were, Magic players or Pokemon players that, really just wanted to display certain cards and didn't really care about a grade, but they liked the idea of having it, preserved in a case with a nice label that they could put and display it on their mantle or, wherever they wanted to put it. So that's really where the idea came about, with offering that. And it's been a very big piece of what we've done so far. Just a simple slab with label.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. Is that what this is right here? This one,
Yes.
Pokemon is just a non-grade.
Yes. Yeah. So the label is the same as the graded label, just minus the grade. And, obviously wouldn't have subgrades on the back. But yeah, that's really the only difference. It's the same slab and the same label design.
Right now, for people that are interested in submitting cards to get either graded or just get slabbed with you guys, how are you accepting submissions? Is it just through your Facebook page currently and through the local shop, or is it
it's been through Facebook and through the shop, because we're going through what we've called our soft launch, and really kind of testing the market through local business and things like that, while we develop our website and get it ready for online submissions. That is definitely a big goal of ours, is to build a functional website that will have a pop report search engine, that will have online submission forms. So you'll be able to go right on the website, submit your cards through the form online, and you won't have to print out a sheet and send it in with your submission or any of that stuff. You'll be able to do it all through the website. And as we develop that, we could just kind of continue to stay with the local service, with people coming into the store. We have had some people drive over an hour to bring cards because they just didn't trust mailing them. Anybody that's sold on eBay knows exactly how the mailing system can be. So, so that's kind of where we're at with it right now. It's very early. We just launched a little over 2 weeks ago, and it's gone well. Things have been received well. Everybody that we've graded for so far has submitted cards within a day of picking their previous submission up. And the one kind of review that we got on, the label itself, was they liked the fact that it's a traditional label, with just a little bit of flash to it. It's got the refractor label. So, and that's what we were looking for. My buddy Sean, he designed it for me, and it was a lot of trial and error back and forth, getting the sizing correct and getting the right design. But we really wanted something that had a traditional feel with just a little flash to it. And that way, we want the focal point to still be your card, not the label.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that's kind of what we're shooting for, is something that looks nice, but, still, maintain the focal point of being the card that's actually graded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great idea, is to keep the card the main thing. I've seen a lot of labels that can be detracting from what the main star of the show should be, is the actual card.
I agree. And like I said, that was one thing that was important to me, is keeping that focal point being the card. So I'm not saying, as we go here, we definitely would like to have options of labels, just different styles, different designs.
Yeah.
That would be something that would be integrated into our website, where you could pick, when you submit a card, you could pick the label that you'd like to go with it. So that is all, coming down the pipeline.
Do you do most of the grading yourself, or is that all Garrett?
He's learning, but as of right now, I do it all myself. But anything I do, I love to give him the opportunity to learn, and just kind of, anything he's interested in, he's more than welcome. Any of my kids are welcome to learn. My oldest daughter, Kiana, is actually going to be working at the store this summer. So
that's awesome.
Anybody that stops in will probably meet her at some point. But that's family is important to me. So I love the fact that I can teach my kids and give them the opportunity to learn something unique and something that maybe not everybody would have a chance to kind of study and learn for themselves. So
sometimes when we're grading or slabbing our cards, he'll print the labels and I'll slab the card.
That's awesome.
Yep. Yeah, I got a picture of him slabbing one of his own cards.
That's really cool.
All right, Garrettson, what is the first card of yours that you got slabbed?
I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it was a James Conner auto.
Nice.
Yep.
I think I might have saw that on the Facebook page.
That's a good one.
It might be on your banner, I think, there.
Yep.
Yeah, it was one of the first ones, and he's since traded that card.
Of course.
Hey.
He's taken a major shift since the store opened from being a collector to he's really honed in on the business portion of it. He can rip a pack of cards and pull an autograph that he's wanted forever, and the first thing he's doing is looking up comps on eBay and trying to figure out what to price it at. So it's been fun watching him kind of make that transition to really, take an interest in the business portion of it.
That's really cool to just at that age to have a concept of business. You know what I mean? I think that's something that kind of helped me a lot in life, because I remember at his age, I'd be going into homeroom trying to sell all my friends Jolly Ranchers and stuff that my mom would take me to the store in the corner on the way to work or on the way to school in the morning, and I'd be like that kid in the homeroom trying to hustle candy. So I just see a lot of that in you, Garrett, where you're willing to take what you have, which is sports cards, and be able to make some money with them. That's kind of cool at your age.
Well, it's it's a part of the hobby that is growing. As we continue to go through it. I mean, it seems that more people are they're getting involved. They're looking at it from a different perspective now. I say all the time, when I first started, I never ever thought of the value of a card. Never. Mm-hmm. I just didn't. Like I said last week, when me and my friends would go and get a pack of cards, you heard two phrases: "Got 'em" or "Need 'em." And and the need 'em ones you kept, all the ones you got, you handed to your friend and said, "Hey, do you need any of these?" And if he needed 5, he took those 5 and he gave you his stack. And if you needed 3, he kept 3, and you're like, "Hey, all right, here's the yellows back. Thanks a lot. It's cool." From that standpoint and everything, so it is definitely. It has definitely changed, and it's cool to see the young kids. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes it irritates me when they show up with a Zion case, and their Zion case is worth more than my whole doggone collection. That's a whole nother story. And I hope you get that way, Garrett. I hope you get to the point to where you're carrying around a Zion case, and there's guys like me going, "I can't believe that little son of a gun's case is more than my entire collection."
Hey, wait till you see this case at trade night Friday. I'll get it in the blog.
way before my dad told, way a long time ago when my dad told me that we were going to start grading, I downloaded this app on my iPad, and I was thinking of random labels.
Very cool.
Is labels that we could try and use.
He actually spent 3 days just drawing different ideas on his iPad, and he'd bring them over, and then he would go back and change them or change some of the coloring, and honestly, some of the pieces of a few of the labels that he had drawn are put into what became the label we have.
That's really cool.
So that I don't think he even knows that, but
No, I don't.
So at what point are we going to see Garrett on Shark Tank? Is that the next step?
That is one of our favorite shows. He's been watching that show since he was probably 2. So who knows? Who knows what the future holds, huh? Take it one day at a time and just enjoy the ride. Mm-hmm. It's one of the unique things about the grading company is that actually started in motion before we ever even considered opening the store. That was something that we spent 2 years researching how we wanted to do things, really ordering some of the equipment, getting things ready. And, we were looking for a space to do grading. And, I talked to my wife and she said, why don't you just incorporate the store and the grading and, utilize both. And, that's what we did. And, it was just, a lot of people think that we kind of just jumped into the grading, and we really didn't. It was something that we spent a long time to really, I wanted to make sure we were ready to roll with it before we did. And you can ask a lot of my regular customers because they asked for months when we were going to be up and running. And I said, I won't do it until I feel like we're comfortable with where we're at. And we like the labels and, everything is where I want it to be. And I wanted to make sure it was set from the day we launched. So it was a long process, but not a lot of people know that was the plan before the card store. So,
yeah, it's cool how it kind of turned out that way. You know what I mean? Where the space kind of, evolved really into something much bigger.
It's been, even from my point of view, it's been fun to watch. And we actually just found out yesterday we are going to be expanding further. So we're going to be taking over a little bit more space in the building that we're in, which will put us right around, we'll be between 1,700 and 1,800 square feet.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're doing a good job there, Garrett.
Pushing in business.
So when I was like drawing the labels, my favorite color is blue. So I would always make like the outside like blue or like half blue, half red. Like I've always like since we've started grading, I've always like wanted a slab to be like red or blue or something like that.
So eventually when we have our options of labels and you see red and blue ones, that'll be why.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Your personal touch, man. I love seeing that. And Diamond Princess says she loves seeing kids being involved in the hobby, and I do too. Like, it's because you guys are going to be the future. Like I want one day, like, you could be the next Nat Turner, Garrett. You never know. You're baby Nat right now.
He's off to a good start. But I totally agree with you. I do agree that the kids are the future of the hobby, and we always try to. When we see kids in the shop, especially going through the discount boxes, a lot of the times, I like to just give that stuff away. And I'm not talking 5-cent cards, lower level autographs, things like that, because, I know when I was his age, somebody could have given me a no-name autograph that was 50 cents, but it would have made my day.
Oh, heck yeah.
So I love to be on the other end of that and kind of, give that opportunity to some kids to, to start their collections and, to really learn about what the hobby should be.
Whenever we started grading, I remember grabbing 3 or 4 cards from the show, and I'm like, these are like 3 that I want to grade. And I remember it was Connor, Mountcastle, and what was the other one?
I forget, but we did the
Bobby Dahlback.
Yeah, we did all of them, didn't we?
Yeah.
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 We're actually excited to return to the show in June and promote the grading now. So that'll be part of our booth. We'll have
That's awesome.
We'll have examples. We'll have some of our slab cards for sale, and we'll have all the information on it as well as submission forms and things of that sort too.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you guys need any, like I said, any help with that getting set up or anything, let me know. I'm really looking forward to seeing what you guys do once you get rocking and rolling. Just to know that there's an affordable option, you know what I mean, for people that want to get their PC taken care of, you know what I mean, like it is really wonderful. You know, the fact that, $5 a card just to slab something is great.
That's our goal with it. And I can tell everybody there are no hidden fees either. There's no perceived value tax, none of that stuff. There's no up charges. It's the price is the $10 and $5. And actually, if you were to submit over 99 cards, it would go down to $8 a card.
Oh, nice.
So I did forget to mention we do have a bulk submission discount as well.
That's awesome.
There's times where me and him will be down there on like a Saturday, and he'll be like, "I'm going to go grade some cards." There's times where he randomly calls me back. He's like, "Hold these 2 buttons," and I just randomly slab the card. Like I had no idea, and then it just randomly slabbed the card.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, that's a wonderful feeling, is like actually pressing the buttons and making the slab happen.
Oh yeah, because that's one of the final processes. We like to have picture records of everything, of the front and back of each card. So of course there's those steps. We also do put your cards into a graded card team bag at no additional charge. That's
nice.
I would feel bad giving somebody their cards back not protected in something as simple as at least a team bag.
Yeah.
So that is something that it'll be included in every single grading that we do.
That's awesome.
But going back to pushing the buttons, that is, through the rolling process of the grading and printing the labels, designing the labels, cutting the labels, getting everything in, it is a good feeling to finally push those buttons and know that that's the final stage to at least get everything sealed together. And, that's kind of the end of the process there. So it's always a good feeling when you get to that point.
Absolutely.
Whenever we were grading the cards, I remember my mom told us to grade what was it? It was
her Bo Bichette rookie.
For sure. It was the Bo Bichette.
She's a big Bo Bichette collector.
You graded your Pickens Pickett, and I graded my Dahlback Mountcastle in corner. I remember I slapped every one of them.
Yep.
That's awesome.
It's cool if the whole family's involved. It really is. I mean, in some way, shape, or form, even whether it be, physically at the store or even just, on the hobby side of wanting to rip and all that other kind of, that type of stuff and having a desire to do it. I mean, that's very cool.
Oh yeah. That's what makes it so much fun, is knowing that the whole family enjoys it. Usually when we get, certain products in, I like to surprise them and bring a few boxes home. And, Friday night, that's that's what we like to do, is sit down, rip some packs open and enjoy it as a family. So it's, to me, that's one of the best parts about, doing this as my new career.
Yeah, absolutely. Was that scary for you, making the jump from, a different type of career into like more of a hobby path?
It definitely was. I spent 16 years doing heating and air conditioning, so this is almost the polar opposite of that.
Yeah.
But it was, you definitely, you think of everything and, you lose some sleep over it. And anybody that's self-employed is always, if you're not losing sleep over your business, you're probably too comfortable, and it's never a good place to be. And you always want to push to be better. And, that level of discomfort is a good thing, because it keeps you motivated, it keeps you driving, and keeps you pushing to make yourself better. So it was definitely a scary time for me. But it wasn't my first business adventure. So I did try to do as much as I could to set myself up to be prepared for that jump. And, we kind of went back and forth on it for a year to find the right timing. And things just came together it felt like overnight. And, I actually had to sit down with my wife, and, I was like, are we really going to do this? Is this the right time? And, when your wife tells you, you know what, it's now or never, it's never going to be a better opportunity.
Yep.
that was the last thing I needed to hear. And that, to me, that was insurance, that, we were in it together. And for me, it was more of a safe feeling knowing that, we were all on the same page and kind of, made that jump and made the decision together as a family. And, because of that, it's been, I don't want to say no stress, but it's definitely been a low stress environment, which is great because it's the total opposite of what I'm used to. And, in my previous career in the HVAC field. So it's been such a fun ride. And, I can't say it enough how much we appreciate every single one of our customers that comes in. Not even necessarily as far as spending money, but just, you could have a bad day and have a good conversation with somebody, and that can, totally flip the day for you. So it's been so much fun to get to, experience that. And, especially in my hometown. So it's been a lot of fun.
I'm just saying, my two sisters don't collect. They just like to open packs.
He is right on that one.
Do they give you do they give you the cards?
They do.
There you go, man. So basically you have personal rippers is what you have. So you get to sit back, they hand it to you, and then while they're ripping more, you're comping.
Oh yeah, I'll never forget. In 2020, we were ripping a box of Optic baseball, and my oldest daughter, she had a card flipped over, and she's like, "It's Jason Dominguez," and I grabbed the card right out of her hand, and it was Jason Dominguez, numbered out of 50, rated prospect, card, and we actually still have that one in the shop.
It was an auto too.
Yeah. So that was, it was funny because I told her, I said, be careful with that one. I say that as I'm ripping it out of her hand, but I didn't want her to, just throw it down or scratch the surface or something like that on it. And she's been the lucky one. Anytime we open anything, she never knows what she has, but she always seems to have the big hits of any box that we open.
She's
Is this one any good?
Yeah, pretty much.
This one's extra shiny. Is it good?
She's always the one who gets like the autos, patches. My youngest sister, my dad gave her a random pack because he gave me a few packs, and she there's only 2 autographs in the box. She opens the pack, she pulls an auto. It's like a $12 auto, and in the packs that I opened, I pulled I'm pretty sure the best card that I pulled was a Patrick Mahomes acetate that was like $5.
I mean, some people got to touch, some people don't. I mean,
it happens, man.
It comes on me and Marty. I let him do all the ripping because he gets all the hits.
Seems to go on waves too.
And I still have that Mahomes in my case.
There you go.
Nice. So Dom had a question. He said, how long did the grading side of things take to get together? Like as far as ordering in your slabs, any materials, presses, I guess just any kind of logistical things.
So it was about a 6-month process to get the first order of slabs, the ultrasonic welder, to get everything shipped to my house and to go through customs. And it wasn't a horrible process. It was just a little bit more of a dragged out process. So ordering that initial equipment was about a 6-month process. And then of course, once you get that, there's other components you have to get for it, like an air compressor. And I did a lot of research on that, knowing that I was going to be using it indoors, so I didn't want a loud air compressor. So I spent some time, and some extra money to make sure that we had a quiet one. And then there's other little things, retrofitting hoses and things like that to get it set up and really get it tuned in. I took extra time on it to get things started because I wasn't really pressured to have it, by a certain date. So I really wanted to just take my time with it and make sure that I had, a lot of the details that I wanted out of it, ironed out before. And even testing myself in grading itself, I would go through the process of grading cards, and for over a year, I would grade it myself and then send it to another company just to kind of see where I fell in the range of what other companies in the industry were doing. And it was an expensive test, but I wanted to do that myself, just to see where I was. And I was about 95% along the way, and that was over the scope of different companies. I wanted to kind of test where I stacked up with other companies, not just one. So
Awesome.
it was a process that could have been done quicker, but like I said, trying to juggle owning my own HVAC business prior, time was a little bit limited. So I really put as much as I could to it. But at the end of the day, like I said, family's important to me. So I wanted to be at all the baseball games, at all the soccer, lacrosse games, things like that. So, I kind of just fit it in between and took my time with it. So that was just my journey through it. I think, anybody could start in, their own, take their own path through it and, kind of figure it out in their own time frame. But for me, that's just, the approach I took with it. So, it was, like I said, it was about a 2-year process, but it was kind of, by my own doing.
So how much are you going to miss in July getting up into one of those 125-degree attics?
Not at all. No, actually, one of my best friends that was partners with me in the company that I was previously owner of, we're still close friends. And, I always make sure whenever it's a really cold day or a really warm day, just to kind of send him a text to remind him. And because he's also a card collector himself. So I keep telling him one day when he's done with it, he can come down to the card shop with us.
That sounds like you'd be living the dream.
Before we opened the shop, we had this room just completely packed with cards. It's probably about the size of this closet. And
we did have a full bedroom that was dedicated to our cards that we called the card room.
There you go.
The day that the welder to slab the cards got here, my dad hid it in that room. And then I remember putting my backpack down and went to watch YouTube in my room. My mom calls me out and she's like, "Garrett, going to the card room." All I see is this slabbing machine. I'm like, what?
It basically looks like a drill press.
What is this?
And anybody that's ever moved one knows that they weigh about 300 to 500 pounds. So
yeah, they're not fun to move.
Yeah, it's once you get them set, it's good to just kind of let them be.
We had a second floor office whenever we were set up in Pittsburgh for TGT, and it was delivered outside to a parking lot. It was not fun moving it up the steps.
I can't imagine. It was. I know even when mine was delivered to my house, the shipping covered them to bring it to the driveway, and they unloaded it right on the side of the road. Now, luckily, I'm on a back country road, but my driveway is gravel, so even putting it on a dolly wasn't easy. We ended up uncrating all of the components and bringing it up one piece at a time. That was the only way that we were getting it up. The total,
we had to do too.
The total crate of everything was a little over 800 pounds, and
it's crazy.
Even piece by piece, it was still it was fun moving up.
Yeah, I remember getting home from school that day, and all I see is this random blue machine just sitting there, and I'm like, I walk out and I'm like, what is that blue machine? She's like, that's what you use to slap the cards when you start grading, and I'm like, oh. I was so surprised that it came because it was supposed to come the day after that. And apparently it came that day. So
yeah, that was. I had to arrange a friend to help us unload because even the delivery truck, they don't help you take it out of the truck. You have to have somebody help you do that. So I had to arrange for a friend to help me, and it ended up showing up a day early. And so I had to scramble to try to find somebody that was local that was willing to help me unload it. And one of my buddies was local and had a half a day at work, so in the long run, it worked out, but that's how things go. You make a plan to change it.
Yeah.
But even even in the grading right now, like there's still random days where my dad will just be in the back doing something, and I'll walk back and he'll just be printing the labels. Like 5 minutes later, I'll slab the first card.
We do print our own labels as well. We do everything in house. So everything is designed by us, printed by us. The labels are cut by us and slabbed by us. So it is a full in-house production.
Awesome.
That is awesome. So in the shop, you've gone through, you said you started in September?
Yeah, September 8th was our grand opening.
So you had a football season and you went into hockey and basketball, then, and football, and you're into baseball. Have you seen that, with what is selling in the shop kind of go as the sports seasons have gone?
So football has never died out.
No.
Football has been the number one demand in our store since day one. And of course, getting a direct account with Panini has been the hardest one to get. So naturally, that's a frustrating process. We actually, when it comes to football products, there's a lot of days we sell it faster than we could get it back in, which most people think that's a good thing. And in the scheme of business, it is. But for me, I want to have full shelves. I want to have options for people to come in. And I do sell a lot of individual packs because I know even myself, a lot of times I'm not looking to spend the high price on some of these boxes and what they cost. So it is important to me to try to offer as many options as possible for everybody of every, everybody to have, every fair opportunity to buy any variation of the cards that they want. We have a supplier that sells retail products. We do not go to other department stores, buy boxes, and then mark them up. I do have a wholesale distributor that sells me blaster boxes, mega boxes, things like that. And, I'll buy, if somebody comes into the store, I'll buy those in a collection. But I do not go to other stores to buy product and then mark it up. That's just not something that was ever a goal of ours. And we were able to hook up with the right distributors to make that possible for us. So
it's awesome.
That's really good. That's really, really good.
Yep. Shout out to Irene. Appreciate you being here, lady fella. So real quick before we move on, I want to give away a break spot. Again, like I said earlier in the show, we are going to be going to trade night over at the shop this Friday evening. And I'm doing a basketball break live from the shop. So right now I'm going to be giving away a spot to somebody in the chat. All you need to do to enter to get into this break is guess a number between 1 and 100.
Okay.
And Garrett's going to be the one who actually tells us what the number is. So if you want to go ahead and pick a number, don't say it out loud yet, buddy.
just keep it in your head.
Think it in your head, and once people start guessing in the chat, we'll give away a free break spot. Again, it's a basketball break. There's going to be 4 blasters and 2 cello packs. We got Chronicles, Optic, Select, Hoops, and Mosaic. So like all of the most popular sets for the most part. And channel members all get free spots as well.
We also, I didn't tell you this prior, but we're donating a blaster box of 2022-2023 Prism basketball to your break as well.
Awesome.
So that'll be added in.
Oh, way to go.
That is huge. Awesome. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem.
Dom is
of course. You knew it had to happen, right, Anthony?
Absolutely. So Dom is a big time sock collector. He wants to know when GTG is fully up and running, will you be offering to or willing to grade socks?
I can honestly say that that's not something that we had thought of yet.
Nope.
But I would never say never.
Another fan for life. If you grade a sock, you got a customer for life.
Absolutely.
For life.
Absolutely. So we got a couple guesses in the chat. We'll give you guys a few more minutes, and anybody is welcome to guess. There's no
Except
eligibility requirements or anything like that.
It wouldn't be right if the guy picking the number guessed.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's already a free spot for your shop anyway, so we'll get you guys taken care of on that end. But yeah, absolutely for life. So we'll give you guys just another minute or so. Anybody else wants to enter? If not, it's going to be real easy to pick between Dom and Diamond Princess.
Come on, Eric, if you're still here, Jason, this ISAM person.
Yeah, who is that ISAM? She must be pretty. That's my girlfriend. So I'm just being weird. Eric's in here at 25. All right. So again, guys, we'll give you just a few more seconds, and then we're going to call it. And Garrett's going to tell us who the winner is.
So when you're expanding the shop, not necessarily from a space perspective, but do you obviously you have the trade nights and everything going on and stuff like that. Do you think you'll get into live breaking right from the shop, or those types of, or auctions or those types of things?
Yeah, we definitely have an interest in getting into the breaks. The reason I held off on it for now was we just recently became a direct account with Topps, and hopefully Panini is around the corner. But I didn't want to get into consistent breaks online right now and not have product in the store to offer to my customers, because that's important to me, is to have things on the shelves for the people that take the time to travel to the store. So really we're just kind of waiting until we have bigger allocations and more availability to each product that comes out, and before we kind of dabble into that market. We do a break during each trade night. It's not an online break. It's something designed to to allow kids to get involved with it. Yep. And that's really it's always just a random team break. We alternate between football and baseball. Me and him, and it's usually around a $30 spot, and we'll break around $1,000 worth of product, usually all hobby product.
Last break, me and him got the worst teams.
We had a rough one. We ended up with the Lions, the Browns, and the Colts.
And of course, I was the Colts and Browns.
Yeah. But yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Down the line, we'll definitely be, I'd like to at least do once a week. We had considered maybe Friday night breaks, things like that. And actually maybe even doing kind of like a hybrid where it's online and in store. And then that way people locally can come in, because it is a fun environment. When you're there in person, it's kind of an experience you don't get when it's strictly online. So that's something we like to think, could be somewhat unique about, what we're doing there.
Yeah, I think being able to offer to slab your breaks too would be another unique thing. I know when we did TGT, that was something that we used to do every once in a while was, hey, if you get a big hit and you want to get it slabbed, or we would run certain breaks whereas your hits are slabbed, you get them back slabbed.
Yeah.
You could always do cool stuff like that too, that normal breakers can't offer.
Oh yeah, we actually had considered a few things just to keep it interesting, and pick where the best card of the break gets a free grade, something like that to make it fun, or the lowest numbered card of the break gets a free card grading, or slab, their choice if they just want it slabbed or graded, just things like that as well, but also offering the option for people that if they want to take certain cards from their break and get it graded. That is absolutely something that we'll offer.
That's awesome.
So you mentioned about how you have become a member of the the Topps family, where you get allocation and stuff. What's that process like? From trying to break through.
For me, it was a unique process. I spent a year sending emails and really wasn't hearing back. And then really just kind of out of the blue, I got an email back, and really it was with Tops was different than, getting an account with a distributor, or, like a third, like somewhere like a Southern Hobby or something like that, where it's all like a fine-tuned, just general process. With Tops, it was different because it's more of an interview process. They call you on the phone and just want to talk to you. They want to have an idea of where your involvement in the community is, what your plans for your store are. Are you involved in the local youth baseball programs and things like that? And they, from my experience, they explained to me they want to partner with people that do have a sense of community, and really trying to grow the hobby and grow the in-person experience. That is something that Upper Deck and Tops both stressed, is they really want to push the in-person experience, and they want to funnel more sales through the stores, and a little less online. You're never going to eliminate online sales, but they both stressed to me that they do want to push, moving into the future, they want to push the in-person sales.
That's awesome. That's good to hear that they care about the local card shop.
Oh yeah. They in my experience so far, and it's been limited. We just became, I want to say, the process with Tops, we started in December, and it was a little over a month ago that we got the final stamp of approval. It's kind of a two-step process where you get approved through Tops, and then once you get so far with Tops, you get pushed to the final step with Fanatics, and they have to give the final stamp of approval. So it is, it's really just kind of, back and forth emails after the initial in-person, well, not in person, but phone conversation interview. But it really wasn't that bad. It's, of course, for me, I'm like a kid waiting every single day, refreshing my email, just waiting to see if there's a new message, or, checking the junk mail, checking everything just to see if I missed it. And, when we did finally get that final stamp of approval, I walked a couple laps around the shop, called my wife, and, we went out to dinner and celebrated that night, because that was a very big step for us.
That's awesome. That's really cool. So Garrett, what was the number you were thinking of, buddy?
57.
57. So the closest we have is the Lady Fella. So we got a winner right there. Let me put you on there as our break spot winner. So you will be entered Friday evening into this break that I will be doing live from G&T Sports Cards Plus. Thank you very much for guessing, guys.
57.
Because it's my baseball number.
Nice.
Oh, very cool.
So
Pittsburgh is a big, a fairly big wrestling town. You have wrestling stuff in your shop?
So we have a limited selection, and it's unfortunately, it's something that, you, depending on the day that you come in, there's certain people that will kind of scoop all of it up, and then we may go a little while without any of it. And it's been hard to get a lot of that product, so far, because I am kind of limited to buying it through a third party distributor, and to get allocations as a new account through one of those distributors it's a bit of a difficult task. So there's a lot of times you could order a case and you might get allocated one box. And, that's been one of the biggest challenges for us through the first 6+ months of the store, to just trying to get that product in a quantity that, we can try to offer a fair selection to people. But we do try to get in, some WWE, some UFC stuff to try to hit the full scope of every collector.
Nice.
Yeah, I think you're right from that standpoint. And so it sounds like you're not 100% sure what you place the order, but you're hoping you get it all, but you're happy you get something.
Yeah. At the end of the day, one box is still better than nothing. So as frustrating as it can be, I always just try to tell myself it's better than the alternative, which is nothing. So, it's just going to be a bit of a growing process for us. And, we'll take it one day at a time.
Yeah.
That's awesome, Eric. Outside of the last two words there.
I was thinking the exact same. I was thinking the exact same thing. Last two words and the punctuation. And I'm not a Pittsburgh fan.
You know, I don't even mind the Cowboys outside of 1995. And that is like almost like I'm almost more mad at Neil O'Donnell than I am the Cowboys for that one.
Well, he made a couple great passes. Unfortunately,
yeah, they were to
the wrong jersey caught him.
What's up, Paul? My guy inside shops in the house. Great to see you, brother, from the Off-Centered podcast over there on Facebook.
Was it easier getting, dealing with out of the three? Obviously, you're not with Panini yet. That seems to be the one that is taking the longest. But was the other ones any easier? I mean, was Upper Deck easier than Tops, or they basically same type of process?
It was a similar process. I want to say Upper Deck was a little faster. I wouldn't say one was easier than the other. Upper Deck was just a little faster to get back to me. And the reason for that is when you buy an Upper Deck product, it's not like, even as a shop, I don't buy it direct from Upper Deck. They are the only manufacturer that goes through a distributor. So to get that, you have to get an account with a distributor that sells their product, and then you have to get certified through Upper Deck to buy their product. So for my example, Southern Hobbies is who I buy through, and I had an account with them before I had an account with Upper Deck, and until I got that approval through Upper Deck, I was not able to purchase any of their product. So you have to go through their process to get certified and become a diamond dealer. But it was a very smooth process. It's just, like I said, I guess it's more, somewhat impatience on my end, just being excited to get to offer those products. And, it's a bit of a grueling process to wait, day after day, waiting for a message back. But I wouldn't say one was easier than the other. Just, it was a little faster to get in with Upper Deck.
What about Leaf?
Leaf actually had reached out to me early on. And we do have an account with them. Just, we're not as part of their, what they call legacy account, which is where they just automatically ship you a case of each product.
Oh, wow.
Every single product that comes down the line. And I love Leaf products. It is kind of a hit or miss brand as far as the average customer. Some people, care a lot about the licensing for each sport. And, unfortunately, Leaf doesn't have, licensing for baseball, football, basketball, or hockey. And, that's, for me as a new shop owner, I was a little hesitant to overinvest into one thing that I felt may not sell fast enough to justify that revolving cycle of constantly getting new cases in and not being able to move the previous ones. So we do have an account with them, but it's more or less to just buy certain products as they come out, as opposed to, the automatic full case.
Mm-hmm. That makes a lot of sense.
Well, I know there's one person on the stream who really likes their pop culture stuff. Not sure who it could possibly be. I don't know. Just guess.
I do like it, and honestly, I do think Leaf has really good quality. I think their cuts are good. They're sharp. The corners are usually sharp. You see less print flaws on a lot of their cards. So I do think they make a really good product. And that's strictly my opinion, but that's just how I feel about it.
I've heard there's rumors they may be getting acquired or have already been acquired potentially by Fanatics.
Yeah, I heard rumors about that as well. I hadn't heard anything more than just the rumors. So
that would be huge if they were, because then potentially they may get the licensing if they're part of Fanatics, right? Because Fanatics are going to have like basically all the licensing here pretty soon.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be scary.
So that would be huge to like see what a licensed Leaf product would look like. That'd be
cool. We're going to see some new stuff here in the coming years. It's going to be a lot of change in the industry there. But I do feel there hasn't been any official announcement yet, but I do like the idea of possibly seeing a return of, Topps Chrome football or Bowman Chrome football. That, it was one of my favorite sets in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And, I would love to see a return of that product there. So I've been waiting to see, how things, transition here as all the licensing deals and, complete and the dust settles. I think it'll be interesting just to kind of see where we're left here in the next few years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. You go back and you think about, Kobe on the Topps Chrome, and you see a bunch of those types of things and everything. And my scary thought is, man, that's a lot for one company. I mean, they really, that's a lot of control. I'm not saying that it's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know, but that's a lot of control.
Oh yeah, I agree. I agree, and it'll be interesting to see, what happens with all of it. But I do think there are going to be some big changes, just in certain product lines and things that people are used to, especially in football and basketball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because if they, it's gonna be interesting if they, acquire Panini, and then if they can use the names, like you could have the flawless, the immaculate, you could have that type of, because I gotta believe that Panini has that stuff, trademarked or some way, shape, or form that that
definitely.
nobody else can, right? So
they own the rights to those brand names.
Yeah.
They own those brands. It's I don't know. It's hard to think that in a few years, if something doesn't happen there, it feels weird to me to think of unlicensed Prism football or unlicensed Optic football. It would be interesting. I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens, but I don't know. I love both of those products, so I'm kind of waiting just to see what happens.
I guess it'd be like ripping baseball, Panini baseball, like with everything else, which would kind of be not fun.
Yeah, and you know what? I still enjoy Optic baseball. That's one of my favorite sets.
Yeah.
I've always loved the Don Russ product.
I find you get better value out of Panini if it's baseball, because it's like, okay, we're not licensed, so we're just going to give you like a tiger print in this one or something crazy.
And that's the way to build value, is to add more hits, to add more inserts, more numbered cards, things like that, to build the value of the product, to help make up for that, for not having the licensing for it.
Sure.
But I still enjoy it. That's
I do too.
I really like to, what I enjoy about collecting cards is really looking at the artwork, the designs, things like that. And I do think Optic offers some really nice and sharp looking artwork. So it's something I always enjoyed.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, you should collect what you like.
Yeah.
You like the way a card looks, you should collect it. And I mean, if you're a baseball guy, okay, and you love whoever, player X, right? If you're a Pittsburgh Pirate fan and you love Key Brian Hayes, you love O'Neal Cruz, why would you not want their Prism card? Like, why would you not want their Don? Like, why would you not want that card? You're a fan.
Yeah.
Hey, man, why wouldn't, I mean, why wouldn't you want an autographed Optic O'Neal Cruz if you're an O'Neal Cruz guy?
Oh, yeah. I totally agree. And I tell people all the time that they come into the shop, they ask me what's good. And, I said, I always start the conversation with, what do you like? What do you like to collect? And start with that. Don't get hung up on, comps and resale prices and things like that. Start with what you enjoy, especially as a new collector, because you can get caught up trying to chase, the big hit of a certain product, and you can lose a lot of money doing that. So I always tell people, just start with what you enjoy and, see what you want to do from there. But at least at the core of that, you're collecting what you like. So the value will always be there in enjoying, your interest of that card or that team or, whatever, it'll always have that value to you.
Yeah. Like, I like Chronicles just because I like seeing all the different brands.
Oh yeah. I'm
I
a
like
fan of
opening it up
Chronicles
and you get
myself.
you have one player and you get 5 different cards of that player in a blaster.
Oh yeah,
I
Yeah.
like that.
Yep,
You know?
I totally agree. We always rip a ton of Chronicles. That's actually because it comes out in the summer. That's usually something we always stop and pick up boxes of on vacation, and that's something we like to kind of enjoy while we're gone. And it's usually with football, that's a nice preview of the upcoming sets and the seasons and some of the first rookie cards. So it makes it fun. It's a fun kind of summer rip as as us as Steeler fans getting ready for training camp usually because we vacation in August. So it's always a fun time.
We should have a cheap team in breaks this year too, being that we drafted offensive linemen.
Oh yeah, it was a good draft though.
It was a great draft. I was very happy with their draft.
It may not have been flashy, but it was the draft that we needed.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No,
Michael's
sure,
probably
of course.
not very happy with it. He got a reverse Revising. He's a New York Jets fan.
Oh, okay.
And the year that we almost drafted Revis, they jumped one pick ahead of us and grabbed him.
Oh yeah, I remember. I remember watching that, and it seemed like we went on a stretch for years too, where the Bengals did the same. Anytime there was a cornerback, it always seems like they jumped in front of us and took it. So
I tell you, JPJ in the second round, that Porter Jr., Joey Porter Jr. in the second.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good one.
That's a really nice pick, man.
That was a good value at 32.
Yeah, you know the crazy part? I'm literally thinking to myself, I don't even care if this guy's good. That's Joey Porter's kid. Let's go get him.
It's going to be fun to watch for sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure his dad's going to be present, in a lot of the team functions. So it'll be interesting to see how all that plays out.
Well, there's a clip on IG, I think, of him talking to his son, and basically getting him, like, okay, the work starts now, and now they went ahead and doubted you, and all this kind of stuff just in his ear right away, midnight and everything like that. And the son's like, huh? I mean, it's it's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I'm excited for this season.
If he's anything like his dad, man, he's going to be intense, and it's going to be fun to watch.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Is just hope he can cover.
Yep.
Anytime I hear we're drafting a corner early in the draft, I always kind of cringe and think of Artie Burns.
Oh my God, yeah, Artie Burns, man, that guy. And there were so many corners that came out that year too, and we ended up with Artie frickin' Burns.
Yeah. Oh well, we'll move forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, is there anything else that we haven't covered that you'd like to highlight about the business, or anything that you guys have going on?
I think that was the majority of the things that we're working on currently. The trade night, that's something we try to stick to the schedule of doing it the first Friday of every month. Obviously there's certain times scheduling, plays a factor and we have to move it a week or so. But general rule of thumb is usually the first Friday of each month. So that's something we'll absolutely continue with.
Awesome.
And we're going to continue to work on building the grading company and making it an easier process for people to submit cards through the website. And I think that's kind of where we're at as of now.
Awesome. And I'll try to keep you guys up to date with what's going on with the shop and the grading company as things progress as well. And like I said, I will be there Friday evening for the trade night, so we'll be going live. If possible, maybe I'll even cover a little bit of the break you guys are doing, and then show you guys the break that we're going to do for the channel afterwards. Should be a really good time. Looking forward to coming out and hanging out with you guys again. Had a great time just visiting the shop with Marty the other day, and
I enjoyed it too. It was a lot of fun talking to you guys, and same, just sharing stories of collecting and sports memories.
Wait, Marty didn't rip 5 hobby boxes?
But he did.
Yeah, they were close to 5.
Yeah, Marty has a little bit of a problem.
But
he has the kind of problem that you like bringing to the shop.
Oh yeah. It's tempting every day. I'm sitting there, seeing all of the wax on the wall, and especially with him, tempting me every day he's there to want to rip everything that we have. So that's a constant thing we fight off. But
yeah, absolutely. Well, I appreciate you guys taking the time to come on with us this
Yes.
evening and being so open and honest and just sharing everything about the business and just like, you know, yourselves. It's been wonderful.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate you having us on and
great.
giving us the opportunity to share, our story and our journey and kind of get to share with everybody what we're working on and where we want to go with it.
And it was fun.
And Garrett says it was fun.
It was. We'll have to do it again.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Absolutely. Cool. Well, I look forward to seeing you guys on Friday night. And anybody else have anything you want to leave in the comments section in regards to GTG grading, the local card shop that we have here in Freeport, Pennsylvania? Also, if anyone else is interested in getting in the break, it is only $6 per person per spot. So that would be per team. And we'll also actually do another free giveaway in the comment section too. So if you didn't get the comment in the chat, after the video's over, we'll give away another team in the comment section. So you guys will have the next day and a half until the break happens at trade night. And so go ahead and get those comments in. It'll just be a random comment generator, so you can literally say anything. I'll just pick one on this video. But again,
Hey there, fella.
Yeah, you can say there, fella, and you could win a break spot. So that'd be a lot of fun. But again, guys, I appreciate everyone joining us this evening. Until the next stream, may God bless you.